Welcome back, dear viewers, and you are still watching The Breakfast Show, and in this segment of our program we will talk about higher education in Egypt, its future, and to what extent it is enhancing the educational process here in Egypt. We'll also talk about the non-for-profit universities and the universities that are expected to be inaugurated next year in different Egyptian cities. And today we are joined by Dr. Mohamed Shinawy, Assistant Dean of International Relations and Community Services at Galala University. Good morning, Dr.
Good morning,
Shinawy.
and thank you for having me today.
So, sir, let's begin by talking about Al Galala University and the latest updates related to it.
Actually, the Galala is one of the major national universities and projects for the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research. We started last year. In the first year, we had more than 1,200 students. This year, this number increased up to 1,600, so a total of nearly 3,000 students now in Galala University. Last year, I was talking to you about some of the agreements. I can update you that now we were joined by 10 professors from Hiroshima University, and they already Japanese University, Hiroshima, and they are now teaching for our students in the field of engineering, and they will be also joining us in the field of dentistry, and we are finalizing the deals also for the Japanese language. As regards the Arizona State University, we already signed our term sheet, and we are finalizing our deal with Arizona State so that our students will be taking a dual degree, a certified accredited degree from Arizona State University, and this is in the business, computer science, and engineering, and this will be extended to other areas. Also, there were a lot of activities in as regards the community service, doing some of the medical convoys, approaching to the industries around the university, and this is the aim of these national universities, is to serve the communities around them, and at the same time to get graduates that's capable to work globally, not only locally.
It's a non-for-profit university as well, or private?
It's a governmental non-for-profit university.
Yes.
So it's owned by the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research.
And do you expect that foreign students can join the university in the future?
Actually, we have a big initiative in the Ministry of Higher Education that started since 2018. It's called Study in Egypt. And it was very important for us that all the 4 new national universities to join this. And there were a lot of visits sponsored by the Study in Egypt initiative. And we had more than 30 to 50 international students coming and visiting the university, and actually they were surprised and were very happy seeing such great project done by Egypt in less than 2.5 years, which is a miracle. And actually are expecting that, inshallah, very soon to have more international students to join the university, either from our African brothers and sisters or from the Gulf area, and even we are looking forward to have international students from the United States or from Europe. This is our aim.
And how do you describe the educational process amid the coronavirus pandemic and the vaccination campaign that took place before entering the university? Actually,
Galala University now, if you go to the vaccination website of the Ministry of Health, you will find that you can take your vaccination, and the vaccination process is within the premises of the Galala University. So most of the students now, we are approaching more than 40 to 50% of vaccination for the students, for the staff, for the faculty, and the process is ongoing. And we were prepared if there is God forbid that any scaling of that will shift to online, but thanks God we are going on our...
I think the vaccination campaign is proving to be successful till now.
It's very successful, and the students are taking their vaccinations on time, so it's going in a very good process.
Yes. So, sir, tell us more about the non-for-profit universities that are expected to be inaugurated next year.
Actually, let me tell you that the Ministry of Higher Education has its strategy for 2052, and the main point of that is to increase access to the universities. So now we have around 3.2 million students in our higher education system, and this represents around 35% of the age group between 18 to 22. Our aim is to increase this percentage to be 50% by 2032, which means that we need to have around 5.6 million students in our university system. So that's why we started from 2 years ago to add more national universities. That's why within the next year there will be more national universities, one in Asyut, the one in Ain Shams, Banha, and others will be joining. And you'll find that geographical distribution of these universities were very important. We are not only concentrated in Greater Cairo or the big cities, but it's dispersed from Upper Egypt, Delta, Sinai, and in Alamein and the area around it. So we're expecting one in Asyut, in Ain Shams, in Banha.
Non-for-profit?
Non-for-profit. All are governmental, non-for-profit universities.
And what is the difference between the non-for-profit universities and the private university, especially that we have a private section in Ain Shams University? So what is going to be the difference between
these are credit hour-based universities. Any money that's generated from these universities, non-for-profit universities, is again being used by these universities to improve their quality of education.
This is the difference.
Yes, and increasing the facilities, improving the labs, and having more of their students traveling abroad, bringing students, bringing faculty, joining in more projects. So actually in Galala University, in only 10 months, there was less than 40 professors. Galala has more than 70 international publications, and they applied for more than 15 projects. This shows the dynamics in these new national universities.
So it was a new experience for us to open a new university in such a remote place from Cairo, and I think you have students from all over Egypt.
Yes.
And they stay there in a dorm or...
I always say that the dorms in Galala is a 5-star hotel.
Really?
So yes, really. So there are more than 1,000 students are in the dorms,
and
others are staying there. Others are commuting every day because there are transportation. The university, the university is offering transportations to most areas around Greater Cairo. So in Cairo, Giza, and things like that. So many of the students also use the transportation that's offered by the university.
So, sir, also you were talking, you were telling me about a twinning agreement with Portugal and plans to open Portuguese universities or a partnership with Portuguese universities. So tell me more about this agreement.
Actually, it was very important for the Ministry of Higher Education to have different sources and to approach many universities. And our aim is to have highly ranked universities that will bring an add-on to our system. That's why, and due to the pandemic, we were a little bit late, but His Excellency Professor Abdel Ghaffar, Minister of Higher Education, traveled in June to Portugal, and he signed an agreement between the Portuguese Ministry of Higher Education and Egypt that allows for the first time in history to have a branch campus of Portuguese universities outside of Portugal. And actually they have from the university, they are here now, and while we are speaking, they will be signing the first agreement to have a branch campus of one of the private universities in Portugal in the new capital.
So, sir, and they are going to study in English, of course.
They are going to study in English. This university is one of the best 300 universities worldwide. It's one of the best 100 young universities. In one of the QS ranking, their curriculums are very high. And the type of program that was chosen is according to studies that we have done that will be needed in the market within the upcoming 5 to 10 years. So we're very careful in choosing these programs and choosing this exact universities to be partner with one of the private entities here in Egypt. And this will be the first time to have a branch campus from European, from Portugal, outside of Portugal. This is for the first time in history, and this is real news.
Yes, actually we have from Britain, we have...
I'm talking about the European Union.
Yes,
this
from
is
Germany.
For the first time, yes, but a branch campus.
Yes.
Others are not a branch campus. These are dual degree. Yes, a branch campus means that all the certificates, everything is being done by the mother university in the country itself. So this
maybe they are sending the professors as well.
Yes, they are sending. They are responsible about all academic staff for the...
I think this is the first time in Egypt to have this.
No, we have now
Yes.
4 branch campuses.
Okay.
And but this is for the first time from one of the European
Okay.
EU, the European
countries.
Union.
Yes.
I know the UK is European, but not in the European, after the Brexit, now they are not in
Yes.
the European Union.
So, sir, if we talk about scientific researches and to what extent it is important to Egypt in the coming period, and I think that Ministry of Higher Education is giving great attention to scientific research, and is actually having many centers there are plans to have scientific research centers across Egypt in the coming period. So tell me more about this, and to what extent this will help in the development process in Egypt and its Agenda 2030.
Without scientific research, you cannot progress.
Yes.
So that's why it was very important to have many incentives for scientific research in Egypt. That's why we had in 2018 the scientific incentive law that allows for researchers to have startups and to connect between the academia and the industry. And after that, in 2019, you will find that Egypt was one of the highest in increasing the number of publications coming out of Egypt, with around 15.6. The good news is that this year, 2021, for the first time since 1996, Egypt is the first in the continent, in the African continent, as regards the number of scientific publications, with more than 32,000 scientific publications coming from Egypt in highly ranked journals and Q1 journals. It's not only about the publications, but how you link these publications and this scientific research that's been done with the community.
Yes.
And how to link it and how to have a higher technology readiness level coming out of your research. And this is what the Ministry of Higher Education is doing through many of its arms, like the Academy of Scientific Research, like the funding of the research through the Science and Technology Development Fund Association. That's why this was very crucial for us. And also we are encouraging our professors to publish in highly cited journals, and this was very important, and the impact is very clear in the number of publications and patents that
that
are
was
coming
not the
from.
case before.
Yes, thanks God, alhamdulillah, this
I
is
think
very,
the president
very
is paying great attention to scientific research since he assumed office. And
His Excellency, the President, nearly is asking every week about what's happening and the progress, and he's always following up the higher education and the scientific research in Egypt.
I think scientific research is the future of any country.
Without scientific research,
and we have many
never
genius
progress.
scientists, and they are proving themselves in abroad in many key positions.
Thank you so much for raising this issue,
Yes.
because actually one of the purposes of having the new national universities was attracting those Egyptians who are working outside. And actually we succeeded to have many of them, either they came back and now they are working in these national universities like Galala, like Alamein, like King Salman, and now New Mansoura, or they are joined as visiting professors, or they are giving lectures to the students. So you will find these dynamics and linking those Egyptians abroad in all over the world. And also His Excellency Professor Abdul Ghaffar did many meetings through our cultural attaches in Canada, in the US, in Germany, in Japan, in different countries, so that to attract them, to have a way of link between the Egyptians abroad and the higher education system and scientific research system in general in Egypt.
So, sir, what are the most modern teaching techniques now that are found in Galala University?
You are not sitting in your chair and there is a professor who's lecturing. Yes, it's a way of communication between the professors. There is the flip-flap courses. The students are not sitting in the rooms, but they are going outside. You'll find that many of them, for instance, those who are being taught in architect, they have nearly every week or 10 days a visit to the new administrative capital. Those in arts and media, they will find them in Islamic Egypt. Those of biotechnology going to the labs. Those of the geophysics going around in Galala. It's very new area. So all of this
practical ways of studying.
More of practical ways, more of interactive ways, new pedagogy that's used in Galala and all the new national university was very important in when we were establishing these universities.
And what are the different sections in Galala University now?
So actually, Galala University is more of program-based rather than faculties, but we have 14 faculties. We are talking about 66 programs. 33 of them already started, and we are talking about the very latest. We are talking about artificial intelligence, we are talking about cybersecurity, we're talking about mechatronics, nanotechnology, biotechnology,
yes, actually,
geophysics.
they are not found anywhere else.
Yes, also in the way the logistics and business is not the normal business, but these are which are related more to our the regional needs and Egypt need, and then we are looking at the global needs.
So, sir, you think that we are making those students ready to join the market as soon as they get graduated? Because I think that was the problem before, that most graduates, when they are in the market, they are not ready to work. So these new techniques, I think, are evading these problems.
Actually, I'm laughing because you are saying exactly the strategy. I told you the first one was increasing access.
Yes.
The second one was to reform all our curriculums. The third is to link these curriculums with the needs of the industry. So for instance, last week, we brought one of the CEOs of one of the important banks here in Egypt, and he gave a lecture in Galala University telling them and to the political students, political science students, and to the business students how banks are working. It's not only academic, but the practical part was very important. And the way you are linking those students to the market, to see, you approach the market, you approach the industry, see what are their needs, and then you start to adapt your curriculum accordingly. And also you take your students outside to the market and have the internship for them, so that when they are graduated, they are ready, and you are really not only strong academically, but they are well oriented with what are the needs of the market and the industry.
And I think that the new non-for-profit universities, like the one in Sinai, is having a faculty for agriculture. It's all related to the area itself. And we have a faculty for tourism, I think.
Exactly.
So I think this is a plan that you see the needs of the place and you open a faculty in this place to serve the area. So, right?
That's
Am I right?
exactly right. So the one in Ras Sadr is working on agriculture,
Yes.
and we are concentrating on the desert agriculture. The one in Sharm el-Sheikh, we just signed less than 2 months ago, and a very important agreement between Egypt and Austria. And why we chose Austria? Austria is one of the best in tourism.
Yes.
So now the students in Sharm el-Sheikh branch of King Salman University in tourism, they will be taking a dual degree from Austria and from Egypt. And of course, bringing Austria, this was after a visit for the president of the Austrian parliament, and he met His Excellency President Sisi.
Excellent news.
And this, he asked us, you have to have this agreement, and we signed this agreement less than 2 months ago, and now it's established, and the students will be joining this branch campus or this dual degree between the Austrian University and King Salman.
And are these universities attracting students from all over Egypt or only from Sharm el-Sheikh?
No, actually they are bringing students from all over Egypt.
Yes.
It was very a demand for Sinai, especially South Sinai. This is the first university in South Sinai. So it's bringing, a lot of the locals are joining, but at the same time there are many commuting from different governorate all over Egypt.
So finally, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Mohamed Shinawy, Assistant Dean of International Relations and Community Services at Galala University. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
And dear viewers, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli started on Monday a visit to the French capital, Paris, accompanied by a high-level delegation. The Prime Minister held talks with officials of 12 French companies at the headquarters of the French Business Councils. Details of the Premier's visits are in the following report.